All right, 12 away from 9 o'clock. It's January, and most of us are starting to feel a bit of a spending hangover from Christmas and New Year's. Can we do things differently this year? Well, that's what we keep telling ourselves. But December is a long way away. But if you start now, Maya Fisher-French, who knows? Maybe this will be a good December. Let's see if we can get it right this time round. How's your hangover? How are you feeling?
Yeah, Gareth, I have to be honest, definitely spent more than planned. You just spend more when you're on holiday. So I have to confess the January is our spending diet month. It's like a dry January on spending, not spending on non-essentials. And it's a good exercise to start the year off with, understanding your needs, your wants, pushing a little bit of that reset button on spending. So definitely our household is being a lot more conscious of our spending right now, Gareth.
Yeah, I was actually having this discussion with friends of mine as well, and they were saying it's amazing how during January, after the payday from December is so early, it's amazing what your household can actually work on, how little money when you really, really have to. And what they're trying to do is see if they can't repeat that very small reduced budget for February, March, April, and so on for the rest of the year as well. So when do we start planning for this year's December? Because clearly last year's December for all of us didn't go very well.
Clearly. So I'm a huge fan of the savings pockets that a lot of the banking apps have. I don't know who you bank with, but generally speaking, you can have a little wallet that's attached to your main bank account and you can give it a name. So I'm big on my names, and I've got one that says Holiday Fund. And I put money away every month. But what we realized because my husband and I sat down and we did our budgets for 2023, we analyzed 2022, we realized we needed an additional budget called the Festive Season Fund as well, because you're going to spend more. So putting those little pockets, saying, okay, let me start putting money away for that December holiday, and even make it something like a festive season fund where you've just got that little bit of extra cash flow for the extra eating out, the gifts. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. I mean, even if you just start with 200 Rand a month, that's still putting, about 2,400 Rand extra into your budget in December. And then, of course, a really good one is to start with the school fees for next year now. For many families that are going to be sending their kids to school in January or university like I am, starting to save for that for next year. And Gareth, before you do any of this, also, please, that emergency fund. I'm a big believer in an emergency fund. Also, just make sure that you've got some liquidity for the year ahead. And I know some people don't get 13th checks or bonuses in December, but March, funny enough, is quite a big time for bonuses. A lot of companies have their financial year end there. If you are getting a bonus around March, use that to boost your emergency fund as well. So I think it is a lot about just saying, let me put a little bit away every month now, and then when December comes, I just have that little bit of extra cash flow, and I won't feel quite as stressed out in January when January comes around.
I'll leave this as a last question as I say goodbye to you. The meaning of fluid capital in this case, Maya, does not mean go take out an extra credit card, of course. That's not your money.
No, please. Really, we see this a lot. Payday loans spike in January. Rather do exactly what your friends are doing. Just work out how to make your rand stretch further in January rather than taking on debt. You really don't want to start 2023 with these interest rates with more debt. Really not a good idea.
Yeah, they know you're coming. The banks can smell you from a mile away. Maya Fisher-French, thank you very much indeed. Such good advice, such simple advice. We don't seem to get it right. Who knows? This December, we might actually make it through to January without waking up in the middle of the night wondering how we're going to keep our lights on. Well, if the lights are on from Eskom, we actually can't tell the difference anymore. But Maya Fisher-French, thank you very much indeed.